because office vastu is as important as the home vastu, because you spend equal time. If you have 24 hours in a day, ideally 10 to 12 hours you tend to spend in the office and remaining at home. Maybe the office timings are more as compared to the home timings. Okay, so it becomes extremely important to have a very balanced office place, because office has so many things. Office is an area from where you can run home, right? You cannot run an office, just by having a good vastu at home, right? So if you have good vastu at home, and unfortunately you have a bad vastu at office, it's a complete imbalance. It's not balanced at all, right? So home is expecting prosperity and money and comfort and health, but then when you sit in office for 10, 12 hours, nothing is happening. For an example, if you're a salesperson, you pitched a sale in the morning, whole day you were struggling, in the office, but it could not manifest, could not happen. The moment you came home, you know, suddenly that vendor calls you and says, okay, I'm on, I can do it. That means that something is seriously wrong in the office. Home is fine. You understand? Because you reached an area where the opportunity was created and the opportunity manifested as well, right? So we need to understand that something is wrong. Or when you go to the office, suddenly you start feeling that you want to come back, you don't want to sit here, you don't want to work here. You're just working there for the sake of working. कि शाम के 5 कब बजेंगे, शाम के 6 कब बजेंगे, when I can come back, when should I leave, right? And every single day going to the office is like a burden. Okay, and you don't want to go there, you don't want to work there. And then there's another thing: when you go to the office, suddenly you start getting headaches. you know you don't feel good. आपका सिर दुखने लग जाता है, and suddenly you realize that you're in the wrong place. This is not my profile, I should not be working here. Mental dissatisfaction, right? Trauma, harassment, right? I should be working at another place. I am not fit for this job, or this job is too less for me. I am overqualified. Or you say that, oh, okay, this is very difficult. I can't do it. Your legs are shivering, your hands are shivering while taking calls. You don't want that somebody should call you, or you should call someone. That's what happened. Or there are distractions, right? You go to an office, you sit there, you work for 15 minutes, and then you open your Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, and you're not working, you're just spending time there. The entertainment starts in the office. I've seen many such things. Now, these are personal things, okay? What I see professionally is that I've seen that if you have a shop or a showroom, or if you have a factory where you manufacture things or where you trade the things, somehow, the sales are not happening. Somehow the stock is not getting cleared. There's no clearance of the stock. Somehow the purchase is bad. Somehow the administrative department is not working right. Somehow there are repeated mistakes in the accounts and financial department. The taxation department is not working fine, right? The people are not comfortable on the reception. The reception area is not working the way it should work. The people are busy, people are not entertained or welcomed well at the office, right? The billing is not okay, the dispatch is not okay, something is wrong with the dispatch, something is always wrong with the billing. The team spirit is very, very low. Okay, the sales and marketing people are not doing well, the sales are not going up, the marketing is not done well. Okay, the conference room is never used, or if the conference room is used, there are huge fights right? Or it's not a cooperative environment, it's more like a competitive environment between or within the team itself, right? So that's what is happening. And there are instances where people are not giving loudspeaker resignations. They're just, they're just going, they're just going without giving any notice period. They're just silently, planning a resignation, and then on the 11th hour they're giving a resignation. There's no loudspeaker resignation. Nobody knows what is happening and how things should be, ethically planned. People are on unethical paths in the office. Okay. uh, there are fires in the office, there are short circuits in the office for no reason, right? Everything is okay, the electric panel is fine, but then the fire broke, and in you lost a lot of money. In जैसे factory में आग लग गई, दुकान में आग लग गई, यहाँ आग लग गई. So all these things you must have heard. So these are some things that you need to, take care that these things should not happen. Because if these things, if you can control 50 to 60% of these things, right, your office environment would be very, very good. Okay, so now there are some different protocols for office, okay, which I'll be sharing with you today. And they are completely different from uh, the home Vastu. Okay, so it's not the same. Although the principles of an area being light, or an area being heavy, or an area being open, or area being airy, these concepts are same. Okay, but there are huge differences. Okay, now the first thing, I want to share the white screen here and start giving you practical things here. So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that you should keep in mind is the office plot. Okay, the office plot uh, is, I said that, ideally, if you're buying a plot for your home, it should not be square. It should be a rectangular one, which I explained to you, while we were doing the home vastu. But here, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have an office which is a square, is fine. Okay, there's no problem, right? So if you want to have an office which is a square office, okay, that's absolutely okay. There's no problem in that. Okay, so you can have a square office. Okay, you want to have an L-shaped office, want to have a square, fine. Okay, you want to have an office which is like an L-shaped office. Okay, so if you have an office like this, and it's like this, right, and this is how the flow of the office is, it's absolutely fine. Even this is fine, square is fine, rectangular is fine, right? And there are something called cow faced and lion faced offices. Okay, go mukhi and sher mukhi. Okay, so how is the go mukhi, the cow faced office? Okay, so cow faced office is just like the structure of the cow. The head is very, very small, and the back, the rear part of the body is big. So they will have, this kind of a plot where the facing of the plot is lesser, and then, from behind it is like this, पीछे से काफी बड़ा. So this is a cow faced, plot area. Okay, and then there is a lion faced, okay, area, which is exactly opposite. That, I mean, the face is very, very big, but from behind, it is smaller, right? So like this. Honestly speaking, the cow faced is not good for the office. Okay, and you need to keep this in mind, right? A cow faced, at times can be very good for home. Okay, and the condition for the cow faced office for the home should be good is that the northeast of this plot should be extended. Okay, if you have northeast extension here, it is very very good. Okay, so north east जो है वो बड़ा होना चाहिए अगर cow faced है. And also this formula applies in the lion faced also. शेर मुखा जिसको आप कहते हैं शेर मुखा plot. शेर मुखा, मुख means face, right? So शेर मुख जो plot है इसका भी अगर north east extended है, it becomes very auspicious. No other side should be extended, कोई भी और side extended नहीं होनी चाहिए in the cow faced and in the lion faced. So गोमुख और शेरमुख में नॉर्थ ईस्ट जो है वो एक्सटेंडेड हो सकता है, राइट? इन केस अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट कटा हुआ है, इन दोनों में से द नॉर्थ ईस्ट और द in the cow faced or the शेर mukh, the lion faced plot, if northeast is cut, right, then it is not auspicious. So this for office or a factory, right, or for a manufacturing unit, right, or for a corporate office or an accounts office or whatever shop, it is an excellent option. The lion faced share mukha, right? If you're getting a plot which is a share mukha plot for the office, just go buy it, right? It will cover lots and lots of vastu defaults. I mean, वो सारे उसको balance करेगा, right? So try to buy this, and people will come to you. Oh, Navneet sir, you suggested me to buy a share mukha, but I have a structure which is not fitting into this. I mean, this is not making any sense to me. What to do? So it's very, very simple. You can always create, a square out of a gomukha very easily. You can always create a square or a rectangular out of a shared mukha plot. And these areas you can use for parking and green area. And you can always have a square or a rectangular office coming out of a shared mukha, right? So applies to the, plot at home also. You can always have a square coming out of these plots, right? So you can take out the square area or a rectangular area, and you can make an office or building block, into that. But you can always have parking, green area, a lot of other things in these spaces that are, left from, right and left. So that's how you can do. I mean, you can ask the architect to, use that in between area, or you can, the best thing is if you can leave space from all the four sides, and you can have like this kind of a block which is constructed. This becomes an apt vastu thing. Okay, though because you're gonna leave areas from all the four sides, which is again the first vastu balancing, which I always say that if you have an office or if you have a home where the space from all the four sides is open, it is the best. It is the best, because the first thing that happens is the air element, you know that gets sorted out. Air brings opportunity. I must tell you that it is the air that will always bring the opportunity, no matter you know how good your office is, how well planned your office is. Because if the air element is not coming in the office, it's not going to give you the opportunity, right? And which side is air, right? You know that. Okay. And also on the same time, if you're getting an office, you've seen that there are some office which are round. They're you're getting an area. For an example, in Dubai, I've seen many malls where on the top they have something like a round thing, and then you have, right in the middle they have a small, Brahmastan, like this, and then they have offices all around the circle. Right? I've seen such areas also. So uh, if you're sitting in such locations, especially if you have any office or area related to hospitality, right, where you're nourishing people, or it's a restaurant, or it's a bar, okay, uh, or at anything which is rotating here, it's like hotel or hospitality or a bar or a fine dine or a restaurant, it is fine, right, in a circle. But if you have anything else, like if you have stock exchange or you have any corporate office here, it's not good. So if you have a round office, it should always be around hospitality sector, around nourishment and feeding, you know. So that is the best thing for a round office. Okay. Okay. So these are the shapes. Yeah, you might find some more shapes as well. Some distracted shapes. So whatever shaped office you find, that's all right. But the northeast of any shape should not be cut. It should be extended. Just be very. That's a basic rule, right? You may get an office which is of a very different shape. Maybe probably it's having, you know, tons and tons of shapes. Like you have an office like this, then it is moving like this, and it is like this, and then here, and then like this. There are spaces like here, and then you find an office, you like this, and then like this. So all you have to do is take a center, make it a square, take a center, and find out that the northeast of the direction should not be cut. If the northeast is fine, you can have an office in any direction, whatever shape it is. If the northeast is cut, because you know what, why I'm focusing on northeast all the time is because northeast is the clarity. If you do not have the clarity, if the clarity is gone in the office, no matter whatever office you're running, even if you're running a toy shop, you should have clarity of what you have to sell to what age. That's the most important thing. If you don't have that clarity, I'm sorry, I mean, that office is not going to run. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you the basic rules. Now this is very important. Okay. I'm going to teach you the basic rules of Vastu in the office. Now this is very important, ladies and gentlemen, that the basic rules in an office will remain same for all the offices. Only only the position, right, in a particular room in which you are sitting, right, the face, आपका face किस तरफ होगा, while you're sitting, you're facing what depends upon your profession. You have to see the Ashtak Varga of the planet which is giving you the profession. Okay, simple. Let me reach there. Okay, so the basics will remain the same. So I would always suggest every owner, managing director, or the top highest management to always sit in the southwest. Always. Okay, always means always. Okay, but in the southwest, you are sitting facing what depends upon the Ashtak Varga. Simple. Okay, I'll repeat this. So this is north, this is south, this is west, and this is east. Okay, I would want the office of the MD always in the southwest, the owner, always here, no matter whatever your lagna is, whatever your Ashtak Varga is, whatever, right? But in the southwest, where is your table? Where is the chair? I mean, what direction are you going to face will be decided by the planet which is giving you the profession. Okay, now you need to understand that, what planets are giving. For an example, if you say, oh, I'm in an IT profession, Rahu is going to give me the direction. Do we have the Ashtak Varga of Rahu? No, we don't have the Ashtak Varga of Rahu as per the Gemini Sutra, right? Then, under those circumstances, any technical business that you're running right now, because most of the business are Rahu-based businesses, right? The direction should be taken for Saturn. So Saturn is the Saturn Ashtak Varga, because the other element which is of the same capability of the Rahu, the air element, the source of the air element is the Saturn. Okay, so Saturn Ashtak Varga will decide that what face you should be sitting, in the southwest office. Okay, okay, so if you are into a profession where you are an architect, okay, or you're into clothing business or fashion or makeup artist or creativity, or somewhere, what do you call it, entertainment industry, event management, hospitality, you should check the Ashtak Varga of Venus. because this profession is directly coming from Venus. You are a dermatologist, you're a doctor, right? But you are a dermatologist, you're a derma, right? It's coming from Venus, okay? Right? So it's that's so important. I mean, you are in the business of liquor, it is coming from Saturn, okay? The liquor is Saturn, liquor is not Venus, okay? And if you're into business of perfumes, right? You're selling perfumes, you're selling gemstones, you're selling diamonds, it should be the Ashtak Varga of Venus. Shukra. Shukra will decide. Shukra will tell you, oh, you're an CA, you're a chartered accountant, you look at the finance, you're the CFO of the company. It should be the Ashtak Varga of Mercury. Anything which is related to finance or manipulation of the finance and ups and downs and credits and debits and whatever, it's coming from Mercury. That's the bracket of the Mercury. You're dealing with fire, you're dealing with an agency which is there for security purposes. You are into protection business, you're related to a business which requires fire, something, a very aggressive approach, security, so you should be sitting in the Ashtak
Mars.
of Mars. That's so important. You are an astrologer, you are a teacher, you are a trainer, you know you are someone who's gonna mentor people, mentor people, in fact, right? So that should be the Ashtak Varga of Jupiter. You are in a very, very administrative role. The administration is coming from Jupiter. You're an IS officer, right? We are gonna counsel people, teach people, listen to their problems, and then give them solutions. That is the Ashtak Varga of Jupiter. That's so important. Okay, you are into business where things, you're like transport business, there's a lot of movement around you. Okay, all the time there's a lot of movement, people coming, going. You're into dispatcher, you're a dispatcher, or you have an agency of FedEx. You have an agency where you're taking things and then dispatching, or you're purchasing things. You're in a purchase department. You need to see the Ashtak Varga of Moon. I mean, your job is to purchase things for the factory. That's so important. Okay, so you need to see the Ashtak Varga accordingly, right? So we are left with which Ashtak Varga? Three, four, five, six. One Ashtak Varga is left. Sun.
Sun. Sun.
Sons.
Sun.
Oh, sons. You are a legal guy. You're a government officer. You're dealing with the government agencies all the day. You're a listener. You liaison things. You are uh, a mediocre between vendors and government and agencies and government, and you do a lot of government things and government settlements, and you are into law, right? You're a lawyer. You should see the Ashtak Varga of Surya Devata. Lawyer is not Mercury. Mercury is finance. When you combine Sun and Mercury, it becomes law. Okay, so that's the most, because the primary job of uh, a Mercurian energy is to communicate. But when you communicate law, is Sun and Mercury, right? So that's how it is. So this is, I mean, there could be 10,000 more professions than you can come up with, but you need to be little bit sensible to understand that, okay, this profession belongs to this planet and I should check the Ashtak Varga. But all these people, should be sitting in the southwest. Yes, Amitaji.
Sir, what I wanted to ask is, now within every office there are multiple functions. Let's say even in an architect's office, I'll take my own example. We'll have the admin, or we'll have a HR, we'll have an accounts. We'll also have somebody who's listening with the government agencies for our licenses and other businesses. How do so is my Ashtak Varga seen for various activities here, or how is it done?
It is always going to be your Ashtak Varga, right? But you know what I'm trying to tell you here is that, first we will decide the position of the owner.
Hmm.
Okay, So
Okay.
once the position of the owner is decided, I'm going to teach you in this lecture what kind of people should sit in the northwest.
Okay.
Right? Even whatever their Ashtak Varga matches or not, they are not the owners, they are the employees. Simple.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
Because if we have 10,000 people working in an office, we can't check the Ashtak Varga of 10,000 people. It's
Absolutely.
over.
Easy. Yeah.
All we have to check is the Ashtak Varga of the owner. I mean, if you have only 4 or 5 people sitting and you really want to pinpoint, you can, you know. But ideally, if you have like 100 people or maybe 50 people also sitting in an office, you're not going to get the Vastu done for 50 people.
Yeah. And obviously, so you can't, I mean, everybody is not comfortable with giving
Yeah,
the
I
details
mean,
also.
then
Yeah.
you'll have to make, I don't know what kind of office, because if you settle the 50 people Vastu, so it
Yeah.
will be a scattered office. Somebody is sitting on the maybe 10 people would like to sit on your chair if you match the Ashtak Varga.
True. Yeah.
Okay, yes, Manmeet.
So, in the case where any parent or wife is legally the owner, but husband or son is working.
Uh-huh.
So, in that case, whose Ashtakvarga we'll
People who are
see?
working, people who are bringing their energy to the office every day.
Okay.
Simple. Okay, I mean, you can be the owner, but you never went to the office for just for the sake that they made you the owner. But the people
But
who are working, you
but
know,
if they go also, but they don't work much, I mean, they don't have major roles of
people with the major
giving.
role, people who are,
Okay.
see, the Mother Nature understands who is working. So we cannot dodge the Mother Nature. Okay, so people who are working, people who are behaving like an honor there, their Ashtakvarga is very, very important. And they're actually the honors. Most of it is an Indian tradition where they make their wife as a, director or a proprietor of
And
the company.
in case two like two brothers are working equivalent, then
Then there has to be both the Ashtakvargas of these two people, right? There should be two offices in the southwest. And then what face they should do, what direction they are facing will depend on their Ashtakvarga. If they have the same direction facing, then probably they'll sit together in the same office and they share the desk. Okay? All right. So let me go ahead and let me give you the positions of what should be where. So I'm gonna write here the MD office. Okay, so this is, oh, I don't know. I'm writing WD to the MD. Okay, 1 second. So MD. Okay, the chairman, the director, the owner, the Malik. Okay. Now the rules. So first come first, ideally a director should sit in the southwest, okay, and should always face towards the northeast. Ideal rule, okay, 99.99%. This is an ideal rule. Why northeast? Because a managing director is always clear in his clarity towards taking a decision. You know, you should be clear, right? You should have, but you know, if you have a business which requires beauty and your Ashtak Varga of Shukra is very, very strong, so for example, the Ashtak Varga of your Venus says that you should be facing south. Go ahead and face south, no problem, right? If you're an architect, if you're into clothing business, if you're into hosiery or manufacturing of clothes or fashion, right? And if you're a lawyer and the Ashtak Varga says that, okay, the Sun Ashtak Varga says that you should be facing west, go ahead and face west, no problem. But that should be within the southwest, okay? That's the difference. That's the difference of the office vastu. That what profession, what planet is giving you the profession, you need to check that Ashtak Varga. But since the authority is always required in the office, no matter what work is, right? Even if you're running a toy shop, still the authority is required. The authority is going to come from the southwest. Okay, the politics is going to come from southwest because we have Rahu, and office politics is extremely important in corporate world. Not everyone is in the Jyotish profession where there's no room of politics. It's all giving, 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 and then taking the dakshina. That's it, done. Right? That's a very simple profession, but then it requires a lot of hard work. But if you go to any other office, any corporate, I have worked in the corporate and I have seen puppy talks. I have seen, the politics. I have seen that rat race. So under those circumstances, I've seen plotting. I've seen, people sitting together and going on a sutta break or maybe on the offsites. They're plotting things against the company, the bosses. They're discussing the personal life of bosses, their lifestyle, their home, their car, everything. Right? And then they compare that thing to their own salary. That if a boss has purchased a Bentley, your salary should have been increased to 5,000 USDs. But it's it's the thinking, right? It's the thinking that he lives in an office which is a 10,000 square feet home, not office, and we live in a 1,000 square feet home. Oh, he's earning from our blood and sweat, and he's making his own, assets, and he's giving us nothing. That's what people talk. That's what employees talk. And you need authority. Sam, dam, dand, bhed. You need all these things, to run a company. You should be sharp, shrewd, deceptive, deceiving a lot of such stupid people. You need Southwest. Simple. You need the energy of Southwest. But what direction will bless you? What direction you face that will bless you is going to come from the Ashtak Varga of the planet which is giving you your profession. Simple. If it is Jupiter which is giving you the profession, okay, and the Ashtak Varga of the Jupiter is good towards the northeast, go ahead and face northeast, Sone pe Suhaga, because the direction was supporting you, and now your Ashtak Varga is also supporting. You understand what I mean? Right? You should be very clear on this. Because when you make the Vastu for the office, the first thing the MD will say, oh, tell me the direction of my table. What face should I sit? मैं कहाँ देखूं? कैसे देखूं? क्योंकि जब भी आप ऑफिस बनाएंगे, MD का ऑफिस सबसे important ऑफिस है. That's the most important office. Because whenever you get a layout, the layout is going to come from the MD. He's going to say, okay, this is my office, this is my factory, this is my unit. Tell me where should I sit in this, 5 acres of land? What is my location? So the first thing you have to find is the southwest. Simple. Simple. In the southwest where he's sitting, will be decided by the Ashtak Varga. Okay? Any confusions? No confusions. Let's go ahead. All right. Good. Now, the ideal thing, is that the northeast should have certain things. The northeast should have a reception. Okay. And these are the rules that you should apply. Okay. The northeast should have entrance. If it is the north facing, try to have an entrance in the northeast. Even if it is whatever facing, try to keep one entrance in the northeast. Okay. You should have lobby area in the northeast. The lobby of the office can be in the northeast. You can have a puja room in the northeast in the office, always dedicated. You can have water resource, a fountain, a drinking water pantry with just the water, or a water cooler, in the northeast, because water element is required in the northeast. Okay. It's very, very important that northeast should have aromas. It should have aroma. The northeast should be aromatic. The aroma should be there. Okay, you use those diffusers right in today's world, so you can always place a lot of diffusers in the Northeast. It should be as fragrancy, जितना fragrance होगा और जितना a beautiful smelling place होगा Northeast, उतना ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. It should be light. The bigger word I'm going to use here is light. I mean, your reception should not have heavy furniture. If you have a heavy furniture in the reception, you've imbalanced not straight away. You've imbalanced it. If you have very heavy structures in the north, you have monuments and some exotic showpieces in the north, and they're heavy ones. It's imbalanced. You can have them in the south, because the basic principle is that the south should be heavy, and that remains the same. Okay, that remains the same in the office and the home. So north should be light, the furniture should be light. Okay, it should not be a very, you can have a small green uh, you know a plant or a pot, that's fine. Especially in the E&E. Okay, east northeast, you can have that. But northeast, no, you should not have anything. Okay, so the another thing is, I've observed that a lot of people have a glass table in the northeast in the office. Okay, a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, the northeast is a Jupiter area. Okay, and having a glass table there belongs to Rahu, because anything which is made of glass is Rahu. I'm sorry, but you should never have that on the reception. Never, never have that on the reception. Okay, so the table should be a very small, crisp table. You can have it, of the wood, but if you can paint it to some purple, yellow, or red, or you have some designing of purple things, or yellow things or red things, that's fine. And try, I mean, if it's not possible, that's fine, but try, when somebody enters in your office or in the reception area, that person should always enter from the right of the receptionist. Okay, wherever the receptionist is sitting, the client should enter from the right side of the receptionist, or from the front, right, directly opposite to the table, or right at 180 degrees, or maybe 160, or something like that. Someone can enter from the right, from the straight, or from the right. Okay, so that is considered as the best. But if you have a reception in the northeast and people can enter from anywhere, that's all right, that's fine. Okay, so that's about the northeast direction. Very important. Okay, so these are the things that you should have in the northeast. Okay, make it light, make it crisp, make it very clean. Okay, have aromas, have a light music, and that should be an instrumental music only, right? It should not be a vocal music, so it's be like an instrumental, very light music, that will be great. Okay, now this is because, why we've kept a lobby here, we've kept a waiting area here, is that the person who's coming to your office, you know a walk-in is a huge thing, right? Walk-in is not a small thing. 90% of the marketing concepts are towards walk-in. What are you marketing for? You're marketing for the footfall. You're marketing for the people to come to your office and take the services, right? Whenever somebody walks in to your office, what are we doing? 50% of the business is done. That is why the marketing department is so important. 50% of the work is done. You've already sold it 50%, because somebody took time from his busy life and somebody walked in your office. It's not a small thing. Trust me, it's not a small thing. Because 50% he's mentally prepared to do a purchase from you. 50% is mentally prepared that he will avail services from you. You just have to do remaining 50%. That's it. So if you get a walk-in, and if you want to make sure that the walk-in have more clarity in his or her mind, okay, it's the Northeast. Trust me, it's the Northeast. It's a direction that will give you intelligent customers, that will give you the customers that get convinced very easily from you, right? Because most of the time you can have a counseling area in the Northeast as well. Okay, you should have a counseling area, and especially if you are counseling someone, you should face towards the north. Very important. See, I'm going to write this. So if you're counseling someone, okay, you can face towards the north. But if you are selling something, okay, now let me tell you this thing. If you're selling something, under those circumstances, you should face towards the south. Okay. So if you're counseling someone, okay, and if you're selling someone, they're two different things. Okay. All right. So you counseled someone now. Okay, you told someone, see, you're running an education institute. Okay. You counseled him, oh, this is the course, this is a career you should opt, this is what the courses what we have. Okay. You should be facing, like, this is an office, Northeast. So there are two tables here. Okay. Now this table, if you're sitting here, you're facing north. Okay. If you're sitting here, you're facing south. This is the facing south. Okay. Person came from here. This is the lobby. This is the reception. There people are sitting. People came. Now this is, you called him. The two people sat here, or three people sat here. You did the counseling. You were facing north. You were clear. Everything was, absolutely clear while the counseling. Now you want that, oh, this person gets convinced. Okay. And he says, okay, I want to take admission in your institute. I want to avail your services. Where will you send him? You'll send him here. Okay, you'll send him here that okay, यहाँ जाके आप एडमिशन, मैम इधर इनकी एडमिशन करना, पैसे लेना इनसे, राइट, इनको फॉर्म भरवाना, इनको रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म भरवाना, इनको डील क्लोज करना, इनसे चेक लेना जरा. When you're taking the check, when you're taking that money, then the person who is taking the money should face south. Simple. It's very simple. Because now you want to command. Now you want no negotiations. Now you don't want any sort of fear, because here the customer was commanding, because he was demanding, he was asking you, और बताओ, और बताओ, और बताओ. Fine. आपको अपने कस्टमर को भगवान बनाना है, उसको साउथ फेसिंग करवाना है जब वो काउंसलिंग दे रहा है, because he should dominate your counselor. Because until and unless a customer doesn't dominate a counselor, the customer will not get any information. Because आपका काउंसलर सिर्फ उसको वही इंफॉर्मेशन देगा जो काउंसलर देना चाहता है, उससे कभी सेल नहीं होती है. सेल तब होती है जब आपका काउंसलर आपके कस्टमर को हर एक वो जवाब देता है जिसका सवाल लेकर वो मन में आया है. उसके लिए आपको आपके कस्टमर को साउथ की फेस करके बिठाना है, ताकि आपके काउंसलर को वो निचोड़ सके, वो पूछ सके उससे कि उसको क्या क्या चाहिए. At times what happens is there's no probing. Your counselor will never probe the client. Usko kya chahiye? You'll just tell, okay, we have this, you buy, purchase. For an example, there's a student who's come and, who wanted to go abroad. Okay. And he wants to do hotel management, and he wanted to do some other thing. You just kept on selling BBA to him, or you kept on selling, a program which is not relevant. It is because you have that program, that is why you're selling it. It's not a good idea. If somebody is come in a frame of mind to purchase white jeans, and show him 100 blue jeans, he's not going to buy one, isn't? You have to probe. You have to ask, okay, what do you want to buy? You need to give him a lot of open questions rather than giving him close options. Lots and lots of open questions are to be given to a customer. And you will get a lot of open and close questions from person sitting in the south. Person sitting in the south will give you close questions. Can I get this or not? You say yes. How is an open question, right? Because you're telling someone. But then when you sit in the south and your customers are facing north, now you are in the command. You are giving them the close options: check or a cash or an e-transfer. He says a check. Now you are giving the close questions, right? Rather than you ask an open question, sir, aap payment kaise karenge? That's a pathetic question, because still you are not closed the sale. When you close the sale, what do you say? Sir, check or a cash? The check. Okay, sir, give me the check. Finish. Finish. Then you say, oh, I'm not getting a checkbook. Maybe I can do an online transfer at home. I will go home and I'll do an e-transfer there. You lost your customer, because on the way, he'll go to another institute or another company, and he may get call from a third organization, right? And you lost the money. He paid it to someone else because he took time from you to go back and decide. I mean, though he decided after your convincing, but then when he stepped down from the office, somebody convinced more than what you did in your counseling. You cannot give an open question, to your clients. You need to close it right away. This is a major problem that I've seen in the reception area of lots and lots of factories and offices. Trust me. This is this is a problem where, you know, the sales go down. This is a problem where the graph go down. Okay. When you give open questions while you're closing the deal. Open question is a question when you give opportunity to elaborate something, right? Like for an example, what is your name? Okay, it's a closed question, right? Why is this your name? What is the meaning of this name? Right? It's an open question. Now you give opportunity to someone to speak a lot. Okay, will I get an admission or not? Is a closed question. How will I get an admission? Is an open question. Now you're asking someone to explain you the process of how you will get it, right? How will you make the payment? Now you're given an open question. Could be a demand draft, it could be a check, it could be cash, it could be an e-transfer. you know when you say, okay sir, check or a cash, now you closed it. You closed all his options. You just have given him two options: either a check or a cash. That's it. Simple. Tell me, right? So that is where, if you want to ask close questions and you want to crack the deal, just want to take a check and put it in the bank and just done, no refunds. Okay, you should face south. Sitting in the northeast, you should face south, because whenever you'll face south, you'll be commanding. Is that simple as that? And you know when you're facing north, you'll be clear, you'll have clarity, and you'll be speaking a lot. You'll be speaking a lot. People who sit facing the north speak a lot. Seriously, if you want someone to speak up, yeah, you should face north. And people, have you seen to those accounts departments where people don't speak? They're just busy in counting money and taking money, and you tell them, ये कैसे, बोलो ये वहां जाके भर के आओ चलो. You been to a cash counter in the bank, they will not talk. They would, and the moment if there's something wrong in the form that you filled, they return you back and they will ask you to come back and stand in the queue again. Just go back. पीछे जाओ, पीछे जाओ, पीछे जाओ. हाँ जी, अगला लाओ जी. Next. Suddenly they'll keep your form and money on the side, and they'll take the another one. And then you go back and realize where is the mistake, what have you done, the account number is wrong, you've not filled something, and then you try to come back and say, oh मैं तो यहीं पे खड़ा था, मुझे 2 मिनट यहाँ खड़े होने दो, मैं वापस आया हूँ भर के. And you request the other people in the queue. No, So if you don't want your employee to speak much, you have an employee who doesn't have a good communication skill, you want him to ask close questions, make him face out, because without speaking much, command, he will command. Okay. And if you have a big mouth in your office, okay, so make him sit, where he's always facing the north. He's keep speaking, and keep telling, oh, do this, do that, I'll do this, yo all the time. Make sure his tongue gets all the aerobics he wants every day, because there are tongues who doesn't want aerobics. There are tongues who need a lot of aerobics every day, right? So that is why 99% of the receptionists are females. Okay. And 99% of the people who are taking cash and money are males. All right, because there's a difference between weight training and aerobics. So the tongues of the male are under the impression of weight training, and the female tongues are aerobic tongues. They'll do a lot of aerobics. Zumba is a right word, or whatever you call it. I don't know. The females are laughing, but that's the reality. Okay. All right. Hope I'm making some sense to you, right? In the Northeast. Okay. All right. So that's how you should plan Northeast, right? The water should be in the Northeast. In the Northeast corner, you can have water source. You can have puja room. That's very, very important. And in the office, try to have, Ganeshji. That's very important. That's something that you should have. Ganeshji is very important in the office. Ganpati Bappa, right? Because wo vighan harta hai. Because you'll always get a lot of vighan in the office, a lot of obstacles in the office. Lots of obstacles will be there, lots of hindrance, a lot of competition will be there. So it's always a good idea to have a Ganpati Bappa, and your Ishtadeva, whosoever is your Ishtadeva, the fifth Lord in your chart. That's the most important. So the fifth Lord in the chart is an energy which is always going to give you your future blessings, for your future, not for your past and present. Because you can have your Ishtadeva in the past. Yeah, right. In the past means the Guru Parampara or the आपकी जो family की lineage है उसमें उसको मानते थे. So that's Ishtadeva from the past, and some deity you like a lot, like for an example, if the fifth house belongs to Mars, okay, so it is straight away Hanumanji or Rajaram, right? I'll recommend to you. Nursing, fifth lord, is Mars. Then I always say, okay, Nursing avatar of Vishnuji is someone is your Ishtadeva, right? But you say no, I like Sai more, I like go to Sai ji, मैं जाता हूँ और मुझे साईं बाबा ही मुझे. That's the Ishtadeva of your present. Okay, that's the Ishtadeva of your present. So you can have a Sai, small deity of Sai in your office table, on your office table, if you're not eating non-veg on your office while having your food, right? Uh, or you can have it at the home temple. Okay, but if it is the office thing, right, try to have maximum number of the time. You'll see a lot of prosperity and less of legalities and less of problems, you know uh, by having Ganpati Bappa. Imagine if you have a Ma Kali Savrupa in the office in the beginning. You can imagine what is going to happen. Every employee is going to have a secret weapon, right, and is going to fight. Now that secret weapon could be anything: your mind, your tongue, the way you react, your body language, or anything. You see where there are offices where people slap each other. you know they always have, those offices have, some sort of an energy which is always a very fighting or a physical, lot of Mars energy is there. Some element would be there in the reception area or in the conference area which belongs to Mars. That something will be there, a very strong Mars will be there. During those meetings, during the target versus achievement meeting, people would want to slap each other. People would want to sales manager or a boss. And at times I've seen this manifesting as well. So you need to see that you have a lot of fights in the office. A lot of employees are fighting with each other, and 50% of your productivity is gone. Just counseling. Oh, you should not fight. Don't behave like a child. You're not children. You're adults. You're being paid so much. What are you doing? I mean, does this suit you? I'll have to speak to the HR. This is code of conduct. This is not good. How can you behave like a child? And then both the employees are not understanding. They're saying, no, he does this or she does this. She's a bitch. And this, and they just keep happening. And you say, no, no, you should not call her a bitch. She's also a mother and a sister of someone. What are you saying? She's a woman. You should behave properly. What are you doing? So no, sir, she is bitching all around. I mean, that's what she's doing from morning to evening. She's bitching all the way with the customers, with the clients, with me, with you. And and he was telling you that your boss is an important guy. Is what whole don't know. So that's what their people saying, and that's just no, 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 no. How can you say these words? Please don't say. We should not say these words in the office. Our aim is to achieve the targets and everything. So whole day, as a manager, you're just doing this, and in the evening, your boss calls and say, "What are the sales?" I said, "There's no sales today. I was just, in the mind." And then you said, "Sir, trust me, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm on it. There are 3 sales I have in my pocket. They will be closed within this week." And then the boss says, "Okay, if it is not done in this week, come and meet me." Right? We need to sit for some time. I need to understand why it is not happening. Where is the problem? It's a skill issue, it's a will issue. What kind of an issue it is? Come and talk to me. Okay. I said, okay, yeah, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. Okay. I need a response from your side. Okay. Say me yes or no. Say yes, sir, yes, sir, yes. Sir. What is yes, yes, yes? Tell me yes or no. Yes, sir. So that's how you do it. Right. And that's how I used to do it when I was there in the office. Okay. When I used to rip people apart, you know, I said, I don't want to hear yes, 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 yes. I just want to hear a firm yes from inside, from your inside. Okay. A yes from your inside. Speak it. I can understand it is coming from inside or outside. All right. No. So that's how it is. So, so that's the corporate culture that you have. Okay. Okay. Anyways, so that was around 25-30% of what I was telling you about the offices, right? And we'll have to cover south, southwest, the Kuber area, which we'll be covering, but that will cover tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll complete uh, the uh, the the office Vastu. So it's very, very important. Okay.